Welcome to the Primo's Musings podcast.
Good evening. This is Shri here with the Day 7 recap of the Wimbledon tennis tournament in London. Weather continues to wreak havoc at the Wimbledon, but it did clear up a little bit later in the evening. But let's start off very quickly with the some of the top matches that took place on the men's side of things in the round of 16. Let's start with the defending champion Alcaraz, who played Humbert from France. Um, just watching the match live, it seemed that for the first few games, both of them were trading um, great stroke play. Alcaraz was very successful coming to the net, winning a lot of net points. Of course, he has his signature drop shots. Humbert, on the other hand, had excellent serves, really serving wide, but went matched shot for shot with Alcaraz and kept the first set very close. But he got one break of serve, and Alcaraz managed to win the first set. And the same story in the second set as well. One break of serve, um, and then Alcaraz managed to win the second set on almost an impossible play where he was moving all around. Um, Humbert pushed him all the way to his backhand. Carlos, all he had to do was just put the racket on the ball, and Humbert didn't finish it, making Alcaraz move all the way from the backhand side to the forehand side, and then getting it back to Humbert, who put the ball outside. That's probably one of the best points of the. I'm trying to do a very good uh, impression from the video, but I think it's better to watch it highlights. It's a classic play. In the third set, Humbert actually took it to Alcaraz directly, and he was able to break him twice. Took it to him. Great serving. Carlos actually struggled third set in the serve. His first serve dropped, and that gave a lot of chances for Humbert to pounce on his second serve. But Humbert had his own. I mean, he had some excellent backhand shots down the line, and kept Alcaraz guessing. And to the point, Alcaraz um, he had no idea what was going on. He actually turned to his box and kind of he indicated that he didn't know what to do against Humbert. But he kind of regrouped in the fourth set. It was a very close affair, back and forth it went. But once Carlos managed to break him at 4-all, it was actually a lot of breaks going back and forth. Carlos was able to break him. Humbert broke him back. So it was back and forth that they went. In fact, I think they had like four back-to-back uh, serve broke on each serve. So, but Carlos managed to held his cool and composure, and that's something which is very interesting about him. He's very open and honest about when he's unable to figure out his opponent, but once he figures out the opponent, he just puts on a different show there. So Carlos is through. Uh, and who does he get? Well, he gets Tommy Paul from United States, who actually had a very straight set victory against Batista. Um, and it was 6-2, 7-6, 6-2. Tommy Paul doesn't look phased at all. This is going to be next game is going to be a big challenge for him against Alcaraz, and the winner will get to semifinals. So let's see how they decide, um, how they play. I think on Tuesday, and then one sorry note where that Medvedev and Dimitrov fell. I think he had a bad slip, and Medvedev leading 5-3. It was a walkover. Sad for Dimitrov, someone who's been playing really well this year. Um, we talked about it. He was in the Miami finals, and he managed to beat Alcaraz. So something very sad to see that. And then in the other matchup for an American who played against Sinner, Shelton, uh, Shelton did talk a lot, and he did say he was very confident going into the match against Sinner, but Sinner been Sinner. including an amazing tweener for that sets up the next shot for a winner. And won 6-2 and 6-4. Third set actually was very interesting with Shelton actually having a set point at 7-6. But he put his shot outside, but Sinner was able to wrap it up 11-9 in the third set tiebreaker. So Sinner moves on. And who does he get? He plays Medvedev. So we got Sinner, Medvedev, Paul, and Alcaraz in one quarterfinal. Meanwhile, on the women's side of things today, we had the American matchup with Navaro and Coco Gauff. And what can I say about Navaro? She was just incredible. I mean, she's completely a different player from what she was. Um, the past few Grand Slams I saw, she actually won 4 in a row right now, and she was just. I mean, Coco had no idea. I mean, even in the second set, Coco was down 5-1 big, managed to win 2 more games, but so much so Brad Gilbert kept asking her to go to Navarro's backhand, but Navarro was extremely polished today. She had a great serve. She had every shot that she could hit. She was picking up the balls early, and she was just too much for Coco. So much so that Coco didn't have an answer for Navarro. And this was interesting from um, a qualifier um, from New Zealand, uh, Lynn, and she was amazing. Um, and she actually had Raducanu, very close, Lulu's son. Sorry about that. She had Raducanu completely baffled in the first set. Um, and someone who's a qualifier, she's now won 7 in a row, I believe. And someone who actually got more earnings right now for reaching the quarterfinal also gets a permanent pass. I think they call it the Lucky Eight or Elite Eight or something like that. In Wimbledon, you get permanent tickets for that to come and watch. But on the court, she was impressive. Raducanu was actually got the second set at 7-5, but in the third set, it was just Lulu all the way. And the University of Texas star definitely played amazing tennis. It was impressive to watch her. Pretty much, I mean, I didn't see like Raducanu have any answers for um, Lulu. I mean, she would serve it wide and she would just whip her backhand or forehand down the line. She was shortening the points, and she was definitely the better player to move on. And on the other, you had Paulini and Keys. Very sad for Keys. Keys actually won the second set 7-6. She was actually up big, but then struggled to win in the second set. And then it went to 5-all against Paulini, and Keys had to actually walk over that match. Very sad for Madison Keys. She's actually been playing well. So Paulini moves on. And then Paula Badosa, a player that I talked about, who was playing pretty well, but I mean, she fell today to Wetchik. And then that's where we are right now. So right now, Paulini takes on Navarro, Lulu takes on Witchik. So, you know, it's going to be very interesting. Like one of the player from not to the top five will be in the semifinals. Both actually two players wow, out of the top five will be in the semifinals. Um, so Monday, big matches in store on the women's side of things. Let's start with that. We got Rybakina against Kalinskaya. We got Svetlina against Wang. Um, Putintseva, who actually upset Iga Swiatek playing against Ostapenko, and Daniela Collins playing against Krejcikova. So again, that's another thing where you have the world number one is gone, world number two is gone, three is gone as well. Rybakina is the only one who's left, and I think the way she played against Wozniacki, she's playing lights out. So I give a lot of I think I would say she's probably the favorite going in, but don't sleep on other players like Navaro or even Daniela Collins. So let's see what happens on the men's side of things tomorrow. Big matches up. We got the Massetti, Pericard from France, and that's going to be an interesting matchup as well. And then you got Diminor playing against Fils, another Frenchman, playing against an Australian, and then you got the big matchup The two big matchups we have is Taylor Fritz and Zverev, and Rune against Djokovic. I think my prediction, I think we always talked about it. I think I said Rune over Djokovic for the quarters. Oh, no, I think I picked Djokovic or Rune, but I think I had Djokovic losing to de Minaur in the quarterfinals. And then you got Taylor Fritz and Zverev against, I think the winner of that will play against Musetti Pericard. So there you have it. Big matches in store for tomorrow. And looking forward to those matches as well. Thank you again for listening. Good night.
Thank you for listening. Primo will be back soon.